Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gamers Hall. I'm Chris, and today we're going to be talking about the UA Player's Handbook. And a lot of stuff dropped, and I'm going to break this all up into sections, but right now we're talking Barbarians. Let's go. So if you're playing a Barbarian, one of the biggest things is Rage. The changes they've made to this is the fact that now unarmed strikes are included in your Rage damage bonus. Your Rage is not only 1 minute now, you can extend it all the way up to 10 minutes. On top of that, maintaining the Rage, if you attack somebody, if you make someone roll a saving throw, or you can just use a bonus action and you can maintain your Rage. Now, this is a huge deal because this means that Barbarians, they can use their Rage out of combat as well as in combat. And I'm all about role playing, and now you can Rage role play. You can be the guy at the bar who is arm wrestling people and using your Rage to give you those advantages on the strength saving throws to beat the opponent. And you can, in a wrestling competition, your Barbarian is making people, you're doing saving throws or ability checks, and you can now use your Rage to do these things. Like if you're trying to throw somebody, there's typically a saving throw involved with that. There's a whole bunch of things you can do with that. Just as a bonus action, I can just give up my bonus action and I can continue my Rage and get all these advantages, even if you're doing ability checks. Now, I know ability checks don't go for that, but hey, if you're raging, hey, use your ability checks. Now you got advantage on your athletics checks to wrestle and do other stuff with that. So this is a great addition to the Barbarian, and I really hope that this makes it into the new book. Alright, another one of the things you're going to get at first level is Weapon Mastery. Now with this, you get to pick 2 weapons from the simple or martial category. Basically, your Barbarian is going to get extra things that it can do when it is wielding a weapon. So things like cleaving other enemies, doing damage even when you miss, slowing an enemy down, all kinds of other things. And basically this just gives your Barbarian more utility in combat. And hey, Barbarians need a little bit extra, so I don't blame them for giving them these things. This is a great addition to the Barbarian class. Also, at first level, your unarmored defense, it's basically the same. They didn't change that. Now, what they did change is at second level. At second level, you get what's known as Primal Knowledge. Now, you get to pick one skill that's on the Barbarian list for when you started creating your character. While you're raging, you can channel your primal power to attempt certain tasks, which whenever you make an ability check using acrobatics, intimidation, perception, stealth, or survival, you can use your strength ability score instead of whatever it was using before. And this represents the primal power of your Barbarian. Like, the fact that lions, they stealth before they go to make an attack, or sometimes the tiger, it's the biggest and baddest in the jungle. It can use its big presence and like how muscular it is to scare other things away, which is why you use the strength for the intimidation as opposed to charisma. The next change that the Barbarian has done is at 7th level, Feral Instinct. Now you get advantage on initiative, which means a good majority of the time you're going to be going first. Advantage on dexterity saving throws. You're going to be taking a lot less damage from Fireball and all the other dex save spells and stuff that Barbarians would typically be weaker against. Your 9th level ability is now Indomitable Might, which used to be your 18th level ability. Anytime you roll a strength check, if your total for your strength check is less than your strength score, you use your strength score instead for that check. Which, I agree, Barbarians should be getting this a little earlier on. Now you get Brutal Critical at 11th level, and they've changed it so that whenever you make a critical hit with a weapon or unarmed strike, you get to add damage to that hit Before you added an extra weapon die, but now they've changed that to where you just, whatever your barbarian level is, that's the extra damage that you do. Which I kind of like this one. It makes things a little easier. You don't have to roll an extra die and do all this other figuring out of whether you double that die or not or anything like that. Like, there's just no confusion on that. It's just, hey, if I got a crit, my barbarian level, that's extra damage. Persistent Rage, which this used to be a 15th level ability, now it's 13. And what this says is basically your rage lasts for 10 minutes regardless. Doesn't matter what you do. If you rage, nothing can turn it off unless you become incapacitated or if for some reason you want to put on heavy armor or someone makes you put on heavy armor, which, hey, that'd be an interesting little trick. Relentless Rage at 11th level. Well, they pushed this back to 15th level. And it's also been upgraded since it's been pushed back. Because before, whenever you dropped a 0 and didn't die outright, you could make a saving throw. And if you pass the saving throw, then you drop to 1 hit point. And every time you use it after that, the DC would increase by 5. Well, they've changed that now to where the same thing happens. The DC is still the same, still increases by 5 every time after that. But instead of 1 hit point, whatever your level is, double that, and that's what your hit points are. So if, let's say you're 15th level, well, now you're going to be at 30 hit points if you make this save. So the bump in hit points, you might be able to take up 1 more hit, 2, depending on what barbarian, what your resistances are and everything. Maybe, hey, it's just that little bit of extra health that you needed so that when the cleric or someone heals you, maybe the druid, then that's that extra bump to take it to where, now you can take 2 or 3 more hits. At 17th level, you get Rage Resurgence. So anytime you roll initiative, you regain 1 expended use of your rage. Meaning you're always going to be able to start a battle with at least 1 rage. So anytime, you won't be able to run out of rages once you hit 17th level. Now, granted, this is 17th level, not many people play that high, but if you have a 17th level barbarian, you're never going to be able to go into a battle and not have rages. So that's a fantastic thing. This is always good. It's the thing that your class is built around. You always want to have one. And, it would suck to go and, be like, oh, I wasted all my rages early in the day, and I hate that we needed them now, so you'll have one. All right, the last change is the fact that before your 20th level ability was your Primal Champion, which you could increase your strength and con by 4 to a maximum of 24. And they've moved this down to 18th level. But instead of gaining 4 to go to 24, now it's 2 to go to 22. So your maximum will be 22, and if you have a 20 in both stats, then it'll go up to that 22. All right, so my overall opinion about this is that these are fantastic changes for the Barbarian. I've always hated the fact that a Barbarian couldn't rage or really use rage outside of combat because, what if you were wrestling? What if you're arm wrestling? What if you're doing some type of feat of strength and you just wanted to be able to use your rage to do this? You couldn't have a Barbarian that was running through some type of homemade gauntlet like the ones you saw in First Night. But now, this Barbarian, you could have that Barbarian that's running through a gauntlet and getting hit with things and doing saving throws and doing all these strength checks like lifting stuff and trying to break a door down. And, you just, hey, bonus action, let's keep that rage going and let's keep doing all this stuff. So, this new Barbarian is going to give you the ability to be a Barbarian not only in combat but outside of combat. And since a lot of the game is also played outside of combat as well as in combat, this gives the player more things to do. The fact that they can rage to intimidate people, they can use their rage to try and put someone to sleep. They can use a rage to just throw people around and control and manipulate things in that kind of way. And, it could be one of these things where it's just not deadly. It's just them trying to control something. Or, let's say they're at like a festival and they're just trying to get a contest and they really want to win the prize at the contest, and it's a feat of strength test. Now your barbarian can do that, and like this is kind of a great thing. The fact that it initiates more role play into the game for this class, for people that are choosing to play this class as well. And I really like all of these changes. I mean, some of them I'm sure people can find arguments with, but I don't really see anything yet. Feel free to tell me in the comments if you guys thought any of these were bad or not. But I mean, the weapon mastery, the way you're able to use your rage now, like these are all really good things for the barbarian, and I really like this would. This is the type of barbarian I'd like to play because I can use my rage out of combat, and I have all these extra little tricks I can do with the weapon mastery. It's some more fun barbarian in my opinion. If you guys thought anything differently, please let me know in the comments. I'm gonna have more videos coming up, and I'm just gonna be hitting up on the things that are changed and not hitting up on the things that are the same, because the things that are the same we already know. Why talk about those? But until then, guys, keep having fun at your gaming table, and see you in the next video.